We're here today with Kanza Malik and Asma Jan. Both these inspiring ladies have just participated in the National Cycling Championship 2020. Kanza is also the captain of the team, which is Pakistan Crank Addicts. She's also the national champion. Asma Jan has recently won the gold medal in the road cycling race, which was a 40 kilometers race, having recently gotten into the cycling arena. Both are mothers, they are in their 30s and 40s. It's very inspiring to hear about their journey into cycling and what it's done for them and how they're going to take this forward on an international level.
I had done sports all my life, and cycling was something that was a recreational break from a very hectic, a tough routine life with work and children, etc. So my husband, he started cycling with his friends. He started really enjoying it, and he knew that, of course, I also needed that outlet, and he really encouraged me to go out and have fun. And it's slowly, when you feel the speed, the thrill. It's a really great sport, as in it's not hard on your joints. Overall, it's really fun because you're enjoying, you're socializing as well as you're doing exercise. So it was very, very good for us. So someone saw me cycling and asked me, why don't you start, try out the nationals 2 years ago. So that's how it started.
So I got into cycling as a result of COVID, purely as a result of COVID. I'm a polo player I've played polo all my life. So for me to have to let go of the stables as a result of COVID was very difficult. But I made a conscious decision that is the best that I can do is, just shut the stables for now and take on something entirely new. And when I took on cycling, it was something I realized I should have done all my life. First of all, my grandfather, my Nana, he was a champion cyclist in 1938. In 1940, he was chosen to go as part of the Olympic team to go to the World Olympics. He was chosen. His name was Mehta Abdul Khalik. And he was a champion cyclist. So when I was introduced into cycling, it was something I figured that, oh my God, I will be cycling same as something Daddy was doing, which I had never thought of in my life that I would come across. So when I took it on, it was I'm very sporty, and I did a time trial, and Kanza was also there at the time trial, and my timing was it was very good. It was good enough to get into the team.
I think competing at a national level takes a lot of blood and sweat, and it requires a lot of pain, and to have a lot of pain, a high pain threshold, and a lot of grit. And that's really, there's no two ways about it. Just like Asma mentioned, you can't really cut a lot of corners. You have to put in that hard work, make your heart and legs go through that training and structured training so that you can make it on the national field. When you ask about training, yes, we do structured training because unfortunately cycling for the past decade or so there's been the way it's been done with other factions and different teams. They've just been putting in a lot of hours and gymming, and that's not really the way science tells us to do this. It's more about varying how much how much stress you put on your heart versus how much stress you put on your legs. There will be different days, and you cannot continuously do it. So you will do hard threshold work, and then you will do spinning, and then you will take a break. It's encouraged to do outdoors to be really acclimatized to the race environment. So yes, it's outdoors, and we do it every morning. So before our day starts from 6 to 8 a.m. We're ready, we get dressed, we fuel up, we go out, do our training. Sometimes it's an hour long, sometimes it's 1.5 hours long, and then we get back and change, get our kids ready for school, and get ourselves ready for work. Right. So that's a very good question, which is why it's really difficult to pursue this sport all the way to the nationals. So it doesn't really matter in training what equipment you have, as long as you have a bike and it's usable. It does matter if it's a road bike or just a simple off-roading etc. bike. It does matter because so you can get used to the aggressive geometry and be as aero as possible. But as you go on and when you want to compete and you want to put all those gains you've made to your body into speed, then yes, you need the equipment, and for that you need wheels, you need carbon frames. There are many companies that you can go.
So yes, the equipment is very, very important, and you do need a race bike. And for the national championships, you definitely need to upgrade your equipment. You have to have the carbon wheels to go with the carbon bike, because when I didn't have the carbon wheels, even in the trainings, I was falling behind the rest of the peloton. I would be the first person to fall off the peloton, which is quite traumatic. When you're training, you're not able to keep up, and you're just like, I'm using so much of my energy and my power, but it's not translating into anything positive. So for that, Kanza being the captain of the team, she advised me that your wheels are just not going to cut it. It's just not going to happen. So she arranged wheels for me, which I got right before the nationals. And as soon as the wheels came, the training just went to a whole different level.
Query that not only is it overall your core, your legs, and of course cardio. So आपका इतना strong हो रहा है, it's probably one of the best exercises there. The thing is that it's actually very easy on your body. So when you're running or doing other exercises, there's a lot of strain overall on your body. While you're doing cycling, your knees, your joints, your ankles, none of them are being strained, and you're just losing inches like anything. And this is coming from someone also who has done sports their whole lives, and also they've tried all these certain day challenges, etc., everything to remove the post baby weight, etc. And I could not lose it before cycling.
When I took to cycling, I realized it was the next level of fitness. It was an overall fitness for the entire body. I've never felt so fit in my life, although I've been into fitness for so long, but cycling just gives you the edge. It's a tremendous difference that I look at myself 4 months ago and I look at myself in 4 months, you've transformed. You've become a new person. So I think it's excellent.
So we probably wouldn't know the exact number, but to give you an idea, there are 4 sube. So all of them have a team, 4 to 6 women. Then there are factions like the Army, WAPDA, SSGC. They have very, very strong sports teams in a lot of sports, cycling being one of them. So they would have at least 6 to 8 women each. So this makes about 7, and then us being the 8th maybe national team that are into cycling. I think you are as strong as your mind. You are strong as how strong your belief is, and I think I cannot blame a lot of the women for being this way, because this is what they've seen. They've been brought up, being this thought being entrenched in them. Okay, it's over. After shadi, half of your life is over, and after children, though, you have to. That's it. You can't live for yourself. It's completely over. So I don't think I blame them, and I really, really hope with this Crank Addicts team and with at least my team coming forward, we can really, really just inculcate this culture that a woman is an extremely strong being, and if she and how determined women normally are if they get a chance at any age. So cycling actually is a sport that has no age. As I told you, the science of it, it's not hard on your on anything of your body. It's not hard on your joints, anything. So if you come in and you train, and even if you have, and we have team members that have 0 sports backgrounds, but they come and they train and they come to a level which they can compete in the nationals. So there is no age or limit to who can come into cycling. You just need patience and a lot of persistence.
Unfortunately, in Karachi, you can only train on the roads in Phase 8 or a few other areas of Karachi. But what I have to say, you have to be confident. There are people who are making, laughing at us, and they would come really close on the motorbike and scream at you, and they will actually, you could tremble, or you could, but when you concentrate and you have the bigger picture in mind, and I realize that these kids, they are kids to me, right? They don't know any better, and this is just like a fun and games for them. They don't realize you are actually, you can cause an accident here, or somebody's life is at stake here. When we are training, you are concentrating on that power that you are able to crank out at that time, but nobody understands that. So unfortunately, that is a part of it. But what do we do with it? We have to deal with it. If I kept on getting harassed by these people on the street trying to harass me, I would never be able to compete in the nationals. It would be a finish. I just make sure that I'm there in the light. There's broad daylight, and my driver's there on call. He doesn't really follow me, but he can. If there are issues in broad daylight, I find it much easier. But as it starts getting darker, I just find that it's not the best time to train.
The society right now is not that equipped for women to go out there and be training like that, will be in cycling clothes. But what we've done for it, as Asma's also mentioned, we take precautions to decrease the risk of harassment or being out there alone as much as possible. How do we do that? We know that 6 to 8 a.m. is our cycling time, and we have different groups of riders all around, walkers, runners, riders. At least Karachi, and in defense, though, fitness has become a big thing now. So there are a lot of people around you, and it will be very difficult for someone to mark you or harass you, and there not being riders around. So for me, it's a huge source of comfort. Even when I leave my house alone almost every morning for riding, I know that around the loop there will be at least 3-4 different groups. There will be other team members riding, and that is the first sort, to have your community in vicinity. Then your community is extremely supportive. Right. So there are always Asian games and South Asian games. They always come up. Even last year, I was selected for the South Asian Games, which were to be held in Malaysia, but because of COVID and other, I guess, political reasons that I wouldn't have any clue about, we couldn't go through. But Pakistan always participates. So in March this year, I'm really looking forward to them. And we will, inshallah, I think Pakistan Crank Addicts would definitely represent Pakistan. Yeah.